You stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mainly Button Boxes 200 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Coming off the high banks at Dover, Lilith Peters taking the top spot, Peter Terrio second, Justin Horton taking third place there. But tonight, it's the All-American Racing League Blue-Gray Plastic Fabrication Cup Series right here on Sim Racing Media, brought to you by the Mainly Button Boxes. I'm Cliff in the booth alongside my partner in crime, Matt Metler. Matt, will luck be a lady tonight?
Well, that definitely proved last week as Lilith Peters finally was able to remove that dark cloud of voodoo that had snake bitten her all season long. It was able to put on a performance of the ages, being able to come back from difficulty on the racetrack and reign supreme as Miles the Monster was unable to defeat that one car as she reigned supreme and put on a spectacle of a show. Now we move on to Sin City. The nighttime is the right time for AARL to fuel it up. And you're right, partner in crime. Why not? Who are the odds on tonight? Well, how about, wins keep breeding wins, as some might say. You have to look at that one machine again. Can the Purcells rebound from that late race incident that found themselves both catapulting into the outside wall? as Miles the Monster claimed the brothers late in that one. We're getting ready to get qualifying underway, and don't look now, but that one machine is back on top of the board in practice as it stands right now, Cliff.
Absolutely. You talked about wins, and just a little bit of a mention with the win there for the number one team, that locks her into the playoffs. So winning, you're in. So we've got 3 drivers now locked in, and I'm keeping my eyes on Peter Terrio this race, as he has proven to, over the past couple weeks here, work his way up the charts now, sitting in 13th, trying to break a top 10 here tonight with a good finish. So as they get finished up here with qualifying, we'll grid here in a moment. But take a look at the weather. It's a nice cloudy 70-degree night here in Las Vegas, about 50% humidity, 2-mile-per-hour wind. It looks like the track temps are pretty cool now, but they're we'll see how that plays out throughout the night.
Yeah, you brought up a really good point there in the track temp. I thought for certain before I jumped in the car for a few hot laps around this 1.5-mile oval, I said at 71 degrees, that bottom is going to be like home. Oh, did I found out in a hurry that was not the case, as I quickly had to chase the car up the hill several times trying to run that bottom. I think that's going to be where Calamity Corner may strike, is just that little bit of mischievous, or that mystery that these drivers are going to face when they try to go down there perhaps to make a pass, and they suddenly realize it's like the Waffle House car dropped the bacon grease out there on Groove 1 as we start to grid the field and get this one underway.
Yes, sir. 200 miles from now, we will crown a victor here at Las Vegas. I think it's going to take, we'll have to wait and see, but maybe some strategy and, as they say, rolling the dice here tonight. But it looks like the one car is going to take the pole. So how about that? Shows up to the racetrack, no practice, and drops a fast lap.
Yeah, drops a fast lap of a 31:45. Just besting Cameron Harris in that 27 machine, coming in at a 31:46. In third, Joshua Hedrick at a 31:65. 77, Lightning McQuaid coming in P4. In fifth, that's going to be the 10 machine of Kyle Purcell. In sixth, that's going to be Peter Terrio. Seventh belongs to Travis Rodriguez. Eighth, that's going to be Adam Angerstein. Ninth, Evan Clapper. Want to see if he still has the Clapper on board as a sponsor like he did last week at Dover. And in 10th, that's going to be the 20 of Larry Garnes.
Rolling across the start line is going to be Sean Purcell sitting in 11th. David Lorfano III going to be sitting in 12th. Just to mention there, shout out to David Lorfano for sponsoring tonight's race, the Mainly Button Boxes 200, handcrafted by David Lorfano himself. Reach out to him on Facebook to get some more info on these button boxes. They're great, simplistic, looking awesome. Keep on going, though, here. Christian Delgado in the 16 machine is going to start 13th. Tyrone Yo Jr. is going to start 14th. And we'll have Jeremy Flanagan starting 15th with David Harris starting 16th, just outside of him. Nathan Christensen starting 17th, and Johnny May is going to roll off 18th. Justin Horton's going to take up the rear of the field here in 19th in that 67 machine. And they will get rolling here for a pace lap, Las Vegas style, under these lights. Stay tuned. Flag to flag coverage coming up on Sim Racing Media. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check us out on simracingmedia.com. Got a bunch of merch out there, so hit us up.
Yeah, that's right. Going back to our roots on the Facebook live stream tonight. Always good to kind of go back and remember where you came from, so to say. So, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, follow. Help us get that Facebook feed, or get that Facebook back to life, up and coming, so you guys know where to come and catch us right now. That's going to be on that Facebook live side of things as we watch that iRacing.com pace truck make its way around this 1.5-mile oval. And like we said at the beginning of qualifying, or the end of qualifying, Lilith Peters and Cameron Harris making up row one as the Jedi Master Cliff shows off these new state-of-the-art camera angles. I call this the GoPro Extreme angle right here. Depending on how you catch this camera, it can either surprise you or make you want to grit your teeth. You're about to get a face full of some rear bumper action going on here. But Cliff working the magic right there on the switches tonight before we drop the green flag.
I'll be rolling the dice all night up here in the booth as the pace truck dives off. Hard left corner. Las Vegas is underway. Green flag flies. Lilith Peters and Cameron Harris are going to drag race across the line, and we are underway.
That's right, we are underway. Place your bets, boys. It's about to get rowdy as AARL invades the Sin City in primetime. Lilith Peters making quick use of that low line, shockingly, through corners 1 and 2. I believe there was already some mayhem up against the wall, but we continue to march forward. Lilith Peters, Cameron Harris, and Joshua Hedrick round out your top 3 right now, in close pursuit by Lightning McQuaid in 4th.
Yeah, Joshua Hedrick there, real bobbly on that start. I think he was who we saw almost up into the wall there, but he gathers it back up, and he's got his sights set on that number 1 machine. She is going to be hard to catch, though, fast already.
Yeah, Lilith Peters certainly does not have a problem firing off, and you really got a good dose of that last week as she had to survive restart after restart to take that one home. As we go on board here with that 25 Toyota of Joshua Hedrick, as you can see right now, he's making good use of that low line too as well. These guys are just better than me, Cliff. I just could not run that bottom to save my life. I was chasing it up the hill. But, hey, that's why I don't run with these guys in AARL, and I'm up here in the booth with you. I feel like I belong up here. Much better suits me anyhow. As we continue to see these guys fan out through the field, though.
Yeah, we got a yellow flag out here. And, I'm not seeing any cars. Oh, it's like Sean Purcell a little ways back here. A little bit of a nose crumple. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Sean.
Oh, he's got a broken spindle up there, too. Yeah, as Cliff goes ahead and gets to reset the cameras here for this replay. Definitely that 00 Ford Mustang of Sean Purcell definitely had some issues, and I believe that I seen one of the front tires on that car locked up there as it was going by there in our camera from right to left. The driver's side is rolling. It's the passenger side I'm worried about there, as I'm pretty sure that was all locked up as those whited out rims were not turning as they should as he was making his way around the racetrack.
Apologies here. Technical difficulties. We're going to have to move on. The lap 4 of 134, as you were saying here, under caution. We got some back runners here pulling it down pit road. Got nothing to lose. Nathan Christensen, Tyrone Yo Jr., David Harrah, and Sean Purcell, the quad group here coming down pit road. It's early, but some of these guys are getting some much needed repairs here, as you see the 00 car have to crab walk it into his pit stop right there.
And thank God they're going to have that one fast repair, because 00 is definitely going to need to use that. I'm hearing some reports on the race chatter on the driver channel that netcode may have been involved there. Just something we're going to have to check on later on throughout this one. As you can see, the 00 is repaired with that quick repair that each one of these drivers gets here tonight. They'll form back up behind that iRacing.com pace truck. We'll line them up, rack them up, and we'll have to turn them loose again, Cliff.
Yeah, we absolutely will. So adjust some settings here. I wanted to try to get a better look at what happened. Yeah, we see the tail end of it there. Let me see if I can get an even better angle. As he's already coming a little bit off the wall here.
Right.
So it looks like he actually... Okay, yeah, there's more to this story for sure. It's like the 57 underneath him. They get together a bit. They touch a few times. 00 is going to get the worst of that and get a hard lick into that wall. That's what's going to break that front right suspension.
Yeah, he's just going to get sent up there like a javelin. Is I could see where they were talking about the net code as they seemed to just get tangled up and could not separate. And when they did, he launched like a rocket towards that outside wall there and does some
Well,
heavy damage to that Ford Mustang.
I don't know about you, Matt, but that if that was net code, that was some heavy net code because they touched at least 3 or 4 times in my view. I think maybe it might have looked a little bit like net code from the vehicle, but you know, from up here, I mean, they were almost on top of each other.
Yeah, they were doing the dance. Let's just be honest. Hey, you know what? It's early in this one. It's Las Vegas. It's prime time. You know, everyone's animosity's up. Everyone's, you know, it's the start of the race. This is when everyone's on full alert, max Q. And sometimes things happen. But the silver lining is, and I'm pretty sure you'd agree with me, it's early enough in this one where you still got time to rebound. Oh, but don't look now. Those lights are back out on that Chevrolet Silverado, which means we're about to uncork these ladies and gentlemen one more time here tonight as we look for that hard right-hand turn to come off that pace truck.
There it
Cliff,
is.
I'll let you take this one.
Pace trucks off lap 6 in the Mainly Button Boxes 200 back underway. Peters gets a big jump at it, leaves Joshua Hetrick in her dust. Can they let her do that again? Let's hope not. Kyle Purcell's got something to say though in that 10 machine, working the bottom side now. Hetrick's gonna grab that top side. You see him fall back into third now.
Lilith Peters caught him again on the snooze button on the restart. She shot out of a cannon, but you're right, the purifier. Kyle Purcell's definitely going to throw his hat in the mix here in no time soon. You guys can believe me as he's drawn a bead on the back of that ZL1 Camaro, and he's got that Camry dialed up to the FAST fast side of things. But look who's working that next groove up the racetrack. That 25 Toyota, he's on the move as well. He might have found some little extra speed up top there as he continues to run down the back of Purcell.
Yeah, Hetrick, Purcell, and Peters all running pretty similar lap times up front. 32.74, 32.85 the spread there. So she's not getting away like she has in past races. They're keeping right with her. And, you know, fun fact about the 10 here, that Kyle Purcell machine almost didn't make this race from some of the grumbles in the pits earlier on. So happy to see him out here up 3 spots to second place.
Yes, certainly sometimes not making the race or on the cusp of not making the race, that'll put a fire under your buns per se, and that'll make you just get up there a little extra hungry on the wheel. But right now, certainly you wouldn't know it from looking at him. Always he goes below the apron to the flats around Vegas, doing everything that he possibly can to break that draft.
Those drivers get spread out just a little bit coming down the back stretch. We got a, you know, decent sized gap there back to 4th place with Patrick McQuaid, but he's still coming too. He's got about a tenth slower than the top 3 last time by, but he's got his sights set on him, and he's got Cameron Harris right behind him to worry about, so he cannot let up. That 27 machine is also fast. Travis Rodriguez in 6th with Adam Angerson sitting 7th. A lot of fast cars up here in the top 10.
Yeah, all these boys and gals are fast in the top 10 right now. Make that through the rest of the field all the way back as 19 competitors right now are on the racetrack. Raging battle around Sin City, but they all continue to chase that one machine of Lilith Peters. I want to talk about some of the biggest movers of the race as they run right now. We mentioned them just a few moments ago, that 10 machine of Kyle Purcell. He's up 3 positions from where he started. Go back to the 8th position. That's where you're going to find Larry Gaines. He's up 2. And the biggest mover of the race right now is going to be Justin Horton in 14th. He's up 5 positions. Make that, yep, as they're switching positions, battling right now, Horton's going to be up 5 positions, up to 14th. He's your biggest mover as they run right now.
Yeah, it's Horton and Delgado battling out on the racetrack. 67 is going to get into the wall there a little bit. He's got some sparks now out of the back of that machine. I think he broke something on that tap with the wall there.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a broken spindle, as well as that tire, that Dr. Feelgood is now becoming, as you like to say, sloppy melted rubber out there on the racetrack. very similar incident to what we seen early on with the 00 of Purcell.
Oh yeah, that tire's not even spinning at this point. You got to bring that in and get that fixed up now. You're lucky if you don't actually, cause it something worse there, spin out completely, and maybe even take out some other cars. So great job getting that machine off the racetrack and gonna get some repairs there. Most definitely gonna use this fast repair and get it back out here, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it best. Masterful job showcasing your skills, just keeping that up there in no man's land, allowing all those competitors to come by at pace speed and not getting your car involved or getting your car involved with another incident on the racetrack as he finds it up in the loose stuff. Going to kiss the wall there, is going to cause some damage on that vehicle, but he should have a fast repair left in the tank. Come down pit road, get 4 Dr. Feelgoods put on it, and come out. Maybe a lap down or two, but plenty of time to rebound in this one. Everyone?
Yeah, he's going to be a lap down at least, probably 2 once it's all played out, but he will be the only one. So, unless we get some other slow cars here or we get some cautions, things are going to change quickly. As Justin, if he gets that caution and he's a lucky dog, he'll get that lap back, get everybody back on the lead lap, and we'll get back to it. But right now, he's got to worry about some of these guys at the back of the pack getting lapped, if this does stay green. So lot to worry about here, having trouble early on.
It don't look now, but I see 2 cars on the move here looking really racy right now, and that is the Silver Bullet of Cameron Harris. And when there's thunder, there is lightning, and there is Lightning McQuaid hanging right off the back of that 10 machine of Kyle Purcell. These guys were big factors last week at Dover until McQuaid found himself in trouble with a damaged race car. And that 27, as you know, that Silver Bullet and the Rockies were fast at times as well throughout the course of that one. And they're flexing some muscle here right now as I could go for a Coors Light myself.
Hey, absolutely right about that. On board here with Patrick McQuaid, who's now grabbed up to 3rd spot as he blinks a little bit. We talked about his internet, a lot last season. Had a lot of trouble with it. Got it under control now, so that's great. He's able to run up here for what could potentially be a championship. But currently sitting in 3rd, chasing Kyle Purcell, who's chasing the number 1 machine. Lilith Peters came across the line in that number 1 in 1st place last week at Dover. And also currently sits at the top of our charts here. So a whole lot of 1s in this team's... Kyle Purcell having trouble there.
Oh, he's taking the Evil Knievel line, hitting the jumps. Look at that racemanship. Abe, he's going to lose it at the very last second. He saves it. Caution comes out on the racetrack. And Cliff, that's exactly what happened to me when I was out there trying to run that low line like that. The car just washes out on you, and before you know it, you got your hands full as you're hitting the whoops going through the grass. Big save there by that 10 machine. Masterful piece of driving.
Is that the whoops? I'm not supposed to be out here on the grass, or the whoops in the grass? You were right. Take a look here from the blimp. Kyle Purcell on board with the 10 here as he just turned too far left, it looked like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, but I'm telling you, in the race car, that's the same thing that happened to me as I heard Kyle just scream out, "That was a ride." And you're right, the whoop. And you're right, the whoop section kind of feels like Supercross down there, as it looked like the car was going over the moguls a little bit, but no harm, no foul. Little bit of grass in the front radiator vent's not a problem. That'll shake off out of there, and we continue underway. But the purifier might have to purify his fire suit after that one.
I think some of these front runners are liking what they're seeing here, getting a couple caution flags in, allowing the tires to kind of just mellow out a little bit. But as I say that, they're going to bring these machines down pit road here. Let's see, we got Peters, McQuaid, Harris, wholesale pit stops. Looks like the whole field is going to come down, including some of the cars that came in earlier.
Well, if you placed your chips on lap 21, as you said, for wholesale pit stops, you are banking big in Las Vegas right now. As those pits suddenly come alive, led by the charge by Lilith Peters in that 1 machine. But, you know, some of those guys look like they were out there hanging on for dear life on lap 22, and you're absolutely right. They'll take a caution flag, a good chance to come on down there, get 4 fresh Dr. Feelgoods bolted up to that race car as Lilith Peters looks like she's going to maintain the lead and get the win off of pit road. As the 77 of McQuaid, look at the 27 of Cameron Harris, able to jump up there and gain a spot. Looks like he's going to get 2 spots as he's going to come off of pit road second, followed by Lightning McQueen and Adam Angerstein in 4th, followed by Travis Juggles Rodriguez in 5th.
It's like Evan Clapper, the 57 machine, is a rookie out here, running for Rookie of the Year as well. Little known fact that they he's got the clapper on the car again too. We were worried about that, but little known, side fact, they do run Rookie of the Year in this league, and there's 3 of them running for it. Evan Clapper is one of them. I will get you the rest momentarily here.
And as he's working on that, so we've seen it already here in Las Vegas. This track looking to strike and bite when some of these drivers least expect it, and that grip suddenly goes away. Oh, and the 7 is around under pit speed there. Something went amiss inside that race car. He's not supposed to do that. You can't park there.
No,
that is a no parking zone.
Well, he's going to have to come back and get in line here. Travis Rodriguez is going to, it's getting slippery. I think everything we've ever known about race car driving is just out the window here in Las Vegas tonight. We thought it was going to be cool. We thought it was going to be grippy. It's like tires are a bit of an issue here, and we got some guys sliding around. But back to the Rookie of the Year real quick. Rodney Uberpacker leading those points. Evan Clapper second. And Eli Raposa is 3rd in the Rookie of the Year. So that'll do it for that. Haven't seen Eli Raposa, I think, in a couple races, so might be falling out of those standings. But congrats to Rodney Uberpacker for holding on to the Rookie of the Year currently. And of course, I say that, but he's not here tonight. Go ahead, Matt.
No, you said it best right there. You ever hear the saying, looks can be deceiving, and why not, of all places, Sin City, where that cool track temp, I think everyone is giving all these drivers a false sense of security in the grip department, and we're seeing that this racetrack here is anything but grippy right now at the moment. Maybe a little on the too cool side of the spectrum, possibly. Have to see as these cars continue to work heat in this racetrack if that grip level comes up at all. But right now, I would say she is as slick as a button out there.
Yeah, seems to be so. Maybe, might be catching some of these drivers a little off guard, as you usually get a nice warmer track here. But, so far so good. Couple of incidents, but we're looking all right. Lap 25 here, about to be a complete of 134. So we'll see how the rest of them go.
Yeah, as we're going to re-rack them, restack them again here. Lilith Peters in the 1, maintaining that P1 spot from where she started. At 27, machine of Cameron Harris getting it done on pit road.
You'll see the temperature. Sorry, the temperature has come down a little bit since we started, a couple degrees, but the track temperature is holding at about 71, as you see on your screen. So it is decently cool, all things considered. That truck took a jump. I don't know if you caught that.
yeah, I did.
Well, here we go. Cameron Harris has got the outside line now. See if he's got anything for this one of Lilith Peters as they go green again here at lap 25. Peters has got the control there, and no one can get her on those restarts just yet.
Yeah, she's got the control in that 50 shot of nitrous hooked up to the throttle plate. We're under caution yet again. His cars are just that 7 machine.
Travis Juggles having some trouble again.
Yeah, he had some trouble there on the pace lap. Not sure what that was about, and he seems to be having trouble now as everyone fires through the gearbox again. And yet again, the saying, cautions breed cautions. comes into fruition here.
We'll take a
As,
look from the blimp.
Oh, just the wiggle. And, oh, smackaroo, and the 10 machine's going to get in it. That's just a racing deal there. Nowhere to go.
10 is in the wrong place at the wrong time there, but a little wiggle, and that's going to do it for Travis Rodriguez, unfortunately.
And, I mean, I wasn't inside that race car, but that looked like it was a grip-related issue all over again. As we were just talking about, perhaps, you know, that's one thing. These drivers are getting a false sense of grip out there on the racetrack, and the surface has other plans for these drivers, at least as of right now. As you can see, everyone falling back in line behind that Chevrolet Silverado iRacing.com pace truck out there on the racetrack. Definitely going to have some takers on pit road, the two that were involved in that last incident. Unfortunately, that's going to be the 10 of Kyle Purcell and the 7 of Travis Juggles Rodriguez. As you can see them coming down into their pit stall. Having service performed on their race car. And if you remember, that 10 had that wild ride through the grass. He was catching air, catching a little bit of everything as he made that miraculous save getting back on the racetrack. But here we are yet again. Little eye pacing going on right now as we speak. Cautions do, in fact, breed cautions, and that does hold true right here in Las Vegas around this 1.5-mile oval.
So I just wanted to jump on board here with the 77. He's going to be rolling off second place here. You know, I'm kind of curious. Do we feel like the 77's got a little bit more conservative restarts here, and maybe that's better for the tires? And maybe the 77's planning out some longer runs. I mean, he's used these short runs to gain some track position here, find himself outside of that one, but I'm wondering if he's not just pushing it too hard, and we're seeing the one kind of push her car a little harder than she has to. I think time will tell, but I mean, there's a whole mess of cars here, or a swarm of bees, so to speak, that are all dying at the opportunity here to take that top spot away from the one. So I don't think anyone's really taking it easy, so to speak.
Or let me throw another curveball at you. Does the 77, you know, get a whiff of that clean, fresh air if he was able to clear the one on this restart? We know how much clean air affects the performance of these next-gen cars. So you got to wonder maybe if he's going to roll the dice here and go for it on the restart, or if he continues that potential steady Eddie approach, let the one car jump out there and use up those Dr. Feelgoods, as he's maybe perhaps going for that long run strategy, which we know time and time again tends to play into the wheelhouse of the 77 and the 27 for that matter, who finds himself one row in back of him.
There you go. You said it, the S word, that strategy word. You know, from the drop of the green flag, that strategy starts to play out, and it's constantly changing and evolving throughout the race. And here we are. 77's calculating how long it's going to take him to cross that finish line, and what it's going to take to beat this one team.
Here we go. We're going to line them up as Lilith Peters hits the Geico restart zone. She's going to stand on the loud pedal as she brings that CL1 Camaro to life, followed in close pursuit by the 77 of Lightning McQuaid, working that bottom to middle groove. Is he going to come down to block the one from the 9 of Angham Aggerstein? Going to give McQuaid a little bit of a push and eject him down the back straightaway, as they're all single file right now, at least in the top 5. They start to fan out a little further back, but right now the battle is between that 77 and the 9-time Mountain Dew machine of Adam Angerstein. He is painting the picture all over the back of McQuaid.
Yeah, McQuaid shut the door on the 9 a lap ago, and now the 9 is making him pay for it. He's got a big old mirror full of that 9 car. Just trying to hold him off right now.
Yeah, just trying to hold him off right now, or hold on for dear life. Any way you want to take it, any way you slice it. Being under duress right now and putting the pressure on. Just another characteristic of the mental side of this racing, the sim racing that makes everything so much more difficult than it seems. For some of you guys just watching back at home, it's more than just the physicality of turning laps around this racetrack. It's also the mental strategy, the mental games, the mental Hunger Games, I like to call it, that necessarily you don't get to see so much of, that I try to bring in for life for you guys over the course of this broadcast, as we start to see Lilith Peters fall back into the clutches, as the 77 of McQuaid is going to rifle by, and it looks like potentially the 9 machine is going to get around on the bottom side of the racetrack as well. Move Patrick McQuaid to P1. Lilith Peters possibly back to P3 as Adam Angerstein is putting the pressure on up front.
Well, they'll get him wound up as that caution will come out. And we'll try to figure out what exactly happened.
Yeah, and that's going to happen as Adam Angerstein, as Lilith Peters were in a dogfight for P2. Right now, our timing and scoring has Lilith Peters in that second position. Is yet again the caution evades us in the broadcast, and we're scrambling trying to figure out exactly what happened. But yet again, we find ourselves under caution again, as we finally start to get a few laps, get some repetitions in. As a race car driver, that's what you want. You kind of want to hit that rhythm, hit your stride. And sometimes it's hard to do that and figure out what your car is going to do over the long run, especially when you have a handful of caution cycles early. That can wreak havoc on you and your race team. Just the fear of the unknowns, not knowing what your car is going to do there. But we could have some insight for you. There's Tyrone Yo Jr. on pit road. This Mustang looks like it's in pretty good shape, though. Didn't spend too much time there in the pit box, as we're still kind of searching for answers as to what happened to bring out this caution flag.
Yeah, I don't really have anything for us, but what I would do is, possibly bring in race control to see if we can find out what happened there. I don't know if he's, addressing the drivers or anything at the moment, though, so we don't want to just grab him on a whim. What do we just do? Hang tight. Hey, Corey, Cliff, and Matt in the booth. Are we interrupting anything?
No, you were not.
Excellent. We're just kind of figuring out what happened there in that last caution. We didn't get any information here from our scoring. What do you got for us?
Well, Hillbilly tagged Sean there going in turn 3, and Sean was kind of sideways. Saved it on the first one, and then started to look like he was maybe going to spin out a second time, so I called it there for a safety call.
Copy that. Probably the best call there as you watch this race unfold with a special eye. Not for the fun of it, not to broadcast it, but to make sure the rules are adhered to. And we got a nice fun race for the folks at home to watch. So appreciate the help doing the race control. It's never a fun job getting berated by grown men and women, but you do you and enjoy. We'll send you back, and thanks for that insight.
Yeah, no problem there, Cliff.
Yeah, big shout out to Race Control there coming on board. They're the eagle's eye out there on the racetrack, if you will, and I know I didn't see that, but thank God we have those guys and women that work so hard, to help us police these races, and I don't think they get enough credit for what they do. But one staggering thing that sticks out so far is the Purcells are having a hard time here in Sin City, as both these boys have went for wild rides, and Calamity Quarter has struck them various times already, and we're only 34 laps into this one. As we continue here to see the lights are out on that pace truck, so that means Lightning McQuaid, he's going to reload and have the button. He's looking for that Geico restart zone. And there we go, the drag race. John Force versus Ashley Force on the outside. Really, it's Lilith Peters, but why not make that a reference as Lightning goes ahead and gaps the field on that one, embracing his inner Lilith Peters, if you will. So many times we've seen her do that. Lightning McQuaid says, no, wait, I can do it too, as she's in a drag race right now with that 9 machine of Adam Agerstein working hard on the bottom. forcing that one to the top, but I think she'll be able to get a nice run up there, and she does. We're going to have to see as it's a drag race coming through the dog leg, is you got the 77, the one on the top side, and you got the 9 Eaton on the bottom, down low.
Yeah, amazing start right there. 77 got that advantage on the bottom, but from there back has been a double drag race with 4 cars chomping at the bit to get to the point. 77 is going to have to hold them all off, I think, and it's not going to be easy. Got 1 car up top. Is that the 57 machine of Evan Clapper? I believe it is.
Yeah, that is the 57 machine of Evan Clapper working the high side of the racetrack. He's finding his way around there, and sometimes that's what you got to do when you get mired halfway back in the pack or so. You get all that dirty air. You got to put your car where others aren't and try to find some speed. And Evan Clapper, one thing I've learned about him early on, he's really good at throwing the notebook out the window sometimes and finding ways to get some speed out of that ZL1 Camaro. And that's exactly what he's doing right now, is he's getting ready to overtake the silver bullet of that 27 Cameron Harris.
27 Cameron Harris working that bottom white line. Just a hair faster than that 57 machine, but we'll kind of go backwards here from our top 5. Clapper, Harris, Adam Engerstein holding on to third, up 5 spots. Then we're all watching the 1 machine try to chase back down the 77 of Patrick McQuaid and try to get that top spot back here.
Yeah, Patrick McQuaid is still up front right now.
Look at this pack back here, about 8th back. Sorry to cut you off there. 3 wide.
Woo! Get skinny. Oh, that had me worried right there, as we've seen, how tumultuous it could be at times, especially 2 wide, let alone 3 wide. Is the hornet's nest is a brewing right there around that 11 machine of Jeremy Flanagan and company. You could pitch a 10 over these guys. They are racing lights out here in the back of the field per position right now.
Yeah, some amazing racing back here as we're looking at Peter Terrio sitting back in 13th, our reigning champ, trying to make something happen here and work up his way up through the points, but having a tough go at it here at Las Vegas. Jeremy Flanagan sitting in 11th, just outside the top 10. Move a little bit forward here. David Lorfano sitting 7th, kind of on a race of his own here. Pretty quiet. He's got David Hare, teammate, right up in front of him in that 15 machine. And then ahead of them is the top 5. So they're just kind of riding out that lower half of the top 5 or halfway into the top 10 there, and trying to stay quiet, probably avoid any carnage.
Well, hey, you know me, I love that sleeper approach to the race. That's how I like to work my races. I don't want anyone talking about me. I want everyone talking about the leaders, the guys battling up front, all the biggest movers of the race. Me, nope. I like the steady Eddie, silent assassin approach. That seems to always work good for me, and that seems to be the approach for some of these other drivers out there on the racetrack too right now. So as you can see early on in this one, already a couple different hands being played, or the bets being laid on the table, as you'd like to say, being here in Las Vegas, as Lilith Peters gonna throw her hat back into the ring as we got a dogfight up front. The 77 gonna pull the old the slot. Whoa! I was about to say the side draft slingshot, but it got a little dicey there off corner exit. Great avoidance there by the Lilith Peters not to get caught up in the jet wash from Lightning McQueen's turbines on that one.
Yeah, the muffler man getting sideways there and holding on to it, though. The one can't get that pass completed, so she's going to fall back to second. Angerstein's going to hold on to third. I tell you what, that 9 machine liked what he just saw, and he's going to take advantage of it. I think the 1 might have used up a little bit of her car there, chasing down the 77, and, I think the 9's trying to capitalize.
Yeah, the 9 is trying to capitalize, and that 9 is also really coming alive as these laps continue to progress. And just as we're talking about the 9 coming alive, Mr. Long Run himself, there he is, Cameron Harris, right on time, right on schedule, starting to place his bid here in this one, as he's going to look to sneak on the bottom side right around that 9 machine as he's forced up to the top. As we go on board here, looking out the back, check out the clapper cam there. I didn't really try to call it the clapper can, but I guess that's what we're going to
Great. Now I think they'll make a custom clapper can.
Well, that could be controversial, but hey, on board here with Evan Clapper, getting some great views from Cliff, our managing director here tonight, bringing you all these great live camera action shots. Can't thank him enough for what he does to really bring this racing action to life right here around Las Vegas.
Well, since we might have some time here to run through the field real quick, we'll go with the first place driver right now, Patrick McQuaid in the 77, holding on to that front spot. Everyone's chasing him down. Right behind him, however, as I say that and we're on board, she actually takes the lead back. We're not going to do that. We're going to stay in this view right here as the battle for the lead has warmed up, so to speak.
Just when you thought the storm was winding down, it decides to cycle in a hurry. And here comes the one of Lilith Peters back to the point as she is bringing the herd of angry bees behind her as they are stacked up, mounting a charge as Pat McQuaid has an eyeful looking out that rearview mirror as he's got the 9, the 27, all in close proximity, looking to put some heat on the back of that 77 machine as that 9's going to shoot it top side where Mama hides the cookies. See if he can get some extra traction up there.
Yeah, he had a lot to worry about right there and had to almost ease off and kind of let the one take the lead so that he could maintain holding on to a second place finish. I mean, it was getting dicey up there. As the 9 machine's up into the wall a little bit there, Clapper goes down to the bottom, catches a little bit of that grass there in the infield. But as I was saying, Patrick McQuaid had about 4 other cars there that he had to worry about, never mind the leader.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's just a byproduct of situational awareness or situational racing. You're trying to see where the charge is coming from, where to protect, and you lose your situational awareness on the racetrack. And before you know it, you're making contact with that outside wall. A little brush ain't going to hurt this next-gen car, though. It's tough.
Well, I hear you say that, but I feel like I've seen some not that hard licks here on that outside wall and seen some broken spindles pretty easily. So I think there's a very fine line there.
You know what? You bring up a good point. I think it's certain aspects of contact is certainly tougher than the other car, but it's all about that attack angle, right? You're right. We've seen tonight, if you get up there at the right time, at the right angle, you're going to break a spindle in no time. I just meant, a nice kiss along the, or the Swiss cheese effect, as Tony would like to say. You get up there, you take a little bit of the paint off the car. It's still going to hold its aerodynamic ability pretty well, where the cars in the past, you crinkle them in a lot of back or a little bit, and that side force is gone. This next-gen car seems to excel in those areas. I should have been more specific.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But,
Wow!
3 wide there again, kind of mid-pack there. Not the place you want to be racing for 14th, 15th. But they got through it.
Yeah, they got through it, and they still
72 sideways. That's Jeremy Flanagan. Zorko coming in. Oh, he holds on to it.
What a save by Zorko.
He's going to gather it back up in that 72 Chevy and keep rolling. Man, that could have been disastrous. There were a lot of people out there watching, holding their breath on that one. Zorko Nation, wake up if you were sleeping.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas within the last 5 to 10 seconds of those frames, and these drivers, again, continue to put on an excellent job displaying that racemanship, their craftsmanship on full display as we continue to stay under green flag conditions here. And now these drivers, for the first time tonight, Cliff, they're going to get the opportunity to see how these cars are going to evolve over the course of the long run, something they haven't been able to do within, the first, 50 laps or so, or I should say the first 40 so laps of this one, as we just weren't able to get, a green flag stretch, rolling. We've been able to do so now, and I think that's why you're seeing these cars starting to fan out a little bit. You're starting to see that line of attack widen out a little bit as well. Oh, a big wiggle out of the one machine there, as that was almost disastrous as the front of that Camaro was pointed at the wall.
Well, that was disastrous. Just as disastrous as me not monitoring the chat. Because earlier, Mr. Dave Regal himself asked you, Matt, what is your favorite whiskey?
Well, Mr. Dave Regal knows in times like these, I got to pour me a tall boy of chicken cock whiskey anytime we're out here at Las Vegas. Dave Regal, thanks for not letting me get away from my roots. That's something that him and I started together. But that's chicken cock whiskey. If you have any more questions about it, I'll be I can't even talk now. I'm trying not to laugh. Thanks, Dave. I love you, buddy.
Back out here on the racing surface. Lilith Peters still maintaining the first position. Got 77 of Patrick McQuaid right behind her in second. But we got the rookie Evan Clapper in the 57 machine grabbing that third spot now. As we also got David Herrick coming up to mix it up. Rolling fourth now, up 12 spots from where he started. So hats off to David Hillbilly Hara.
You know, I bet you he's got that Limp Bizkit cranked up in the race car. You know that song, Rollin'? Because that's what he's doing right now. He is climbing the pylon up 12 spots just to kind of pick up where you left off. And that is not an easy task. It has been treacherous out here at times around Las Vegas, as I'm starting to see a bunch of drivers light up here in red in my scoring and timing. And I think that means there's about to be some action on pit road, as the 00 of Sean Purcell says, I've had enough of this dogfight here in the back of the pack. I'm coming down pit road now and getting some Dr. Feelgoods on my race car, because as you like to say, I'm sure that rubber went sloppy with all that hard side-by-side battling going on towards the rear of the field.
Yeah, he got sloppy rubber. He wants some new fresh rubber on that machine. Evan Clapper coming down now, giving up third spot to come down and get rid of his sloppy rubber. Take a look now at David Lorfano in the 8 machine, sponsoring tonight's race with his newly formed Mainely Button Boxes company. Making some very simplistic design button boxes, perfectly laid out, just what you need. Buttons and a couple of switches. That's what you need, that's what you get. And, you know, relatively inexpensive, especially compared to some of the higher end button boxes out there with you know, special knobs and tweaks and labels and stuff like that. That's not what we're about at Mainly Button Boxes. Handcrafted though, and shipped out to just about anywhere. Reach out to David Lorfano III on Facebook. Down in the description you can get a link to his page. Caution will come out though. Adam Angerstein in trouble.
Oh, that's going to be that 9 machine, that Mountain Dew car. Having some trouble there on the racetrack, as we see him right now just kind of riding that white line past the exit cone there of pit road, as we just were getting the first of our long green flag runs underway. Yeah, oh, he's going to take it through the grass as well. Oh, there goes the 10 again for another wild ride through the grass.
Quite a bit going on here, though. We got to... we're going to have to take a few different looks at this, because he's already slowed up on the racetrack there. Yeah, see, something happened in front of him.
Someone missed the exit or the entrance to pit road, perhaps.
Is that Peter Terrio ahead of him? Let's keep our eyes on him. Yes, that's exactly what... So Terrio was coming to 16, looked like he wasn't.
Yeah,
and,
just a little bit of a wiggle and...
Did everybody just kind of slow up around that to avoid a mess? And it looks like someone didn't get the memo. Yeah, Purcell almost got a chunk of the 16, so he had to slow up and actually locks him up. 7 doesn't get the memo, comes around the corner and puts a number on the 10 there. So,
I mean, he just got donkey punched twice in the back of the bumper on that 10 machine. That Toyota Camry takes 2 hard licks to the rear of that race car. certainly why we've seen him down there in the infield abyss once again, as pit road and that slick racetrack, I think right now is once again starting to resurface and show his ugly face on the racetrack, Cliff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As we turn just about halfway, we're going to go ahead and jump side by side and pay some bills. Check out some of our merchandise that you can get at simracingmedia.com, and we will be right back. You won't miss anything. Stay tuned. Lap 63 of 134 underway here at the Mainly Button Boxes 200. We are not in Maine. We are in Las Vegas. Under the lights here, testing our luck. Currently McQuaid sitting in the top spot with David Harris second and Joshua Hetrick rolling out third. Cameron Harris right behind him fourth. Travis Rodriguez will round out your top five. Looking for the one machine here. She is back in 15th. Possibly some trouble on pit road.
Yeah, a little bit of an extended stop there for Lilith Peters. Not sure if that was possibly to repair some damage or just make an adjustment on the race car to get that ZL1 Camaro tracking back to her Lightning, as she definitely had some speed early in this one. Then as we got through that first cycle of green flag runs there, it just seemed like that car went away from her a little bit, so that could be indicative of that longer stop on pit road. But up front, we're going to shuffle the deck a little bit. Lightning McQuaid is going to reign supreme in that number one position, but we're going to shuffle the deck behind him just a little bit. Shout out to Hillbilly Hara, that 15 machine. David, he's in P number 2. Joshua Hetrick, he's in that 25. He's going to be occupying P3. In fourth, that 27 machine of Cameron Harris. Seventh, Juggles Rodriguez. Fifth, In sixth, David Lorfano. Seventh, Larry Garnes. In eighth, that's going to be Jeremy Flanagan. In ninth, that's going to be Jonathan May. And rounding out the top 10 in the 9 machine, that's going to be Adam Angerstein.
Yeah, Kyle Purcell will sit here in 11th. Peter Terrios 12th. Delgado 13th. Yo Jr. 14th. You got Lilith Peters here in the 1 sitting in 15th position. Justin Horton, Sean Purcell, and Evan Clapper going to round out the back of the field. Green flag is out. 77 in the 15 will drag race across the line. Does David Harrow have something for the leaders here? He's up 14th spot. Got a fast car.
Got a fast car, and he is not letting that 77 get away. He is doing everything he can to paint a bead on the back bumper. Oh, he's going to force McQuaid up the racetrack. You're darn right he's going to poke his nose down to the inside as they're side-by-side battling through turns 3 and 4. Look at the power move by the 15. It's check him to the point. We got a new leader, and it's David Hara in that 15 machine.
David Hara, new leader, holding off Patrick McQuaid. Cameron Harris and Joshua Hetrick as well, battling it out there for 3rd and 4th. Watching this all unfold. Hetrick going to take that high line around the 27.
Big moment just behind them as the Silver Bullet, and I believe the 25 just about tangled up as he had a major slip on the bottom of the racetrack, just like so many of these drivers had especially on restarts when those tires are on the colder side of things, because that track temp is barely above 70 degrees Fahrenheit right now. They keep moving forward as he is still under duress all over the back. They are stacked up behind the silver boat.
Yeah, we're seeing that 8 machine come into play too. David Lorfano III enters the top 5 as he's battling with Hetrick and Angerstein there. 3-way battle for the 5th position.
Yeah, as Tony likes to say, you can put a blanket over these guys in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Go put them through the top 10 as these guys back here are getting antsy as the laps are starting to wind down just a little bit as we are now past halfway in this one. And look for these guys to turn it up another level. I can't imagine they have another level, but I promise you guys at home, if you're watching, they definitely do. If you're new to SRM, make sure you smash the like button, ring the bell, come home to be a part of the racing family right here that brings you high-octane esports action 7 days a week.
Patrick McQuaid taking the lead there, back away from the 15 machine of David Hara. Now starting to pull away too, putting a little bit of a gap, about a half second right now.
Oh, that gap is slowly disappearing right now as he is under fire from the 27 on the bottom, the 9, and then on the top side of the racetrack, if it can't get any dicier for him, Cameron Harris is just like a flock of seagulls all over the back of that race car as the herd is coming from both sides.
Yeah, there are a lot of fast cars in this race tonight, and what I'm seeing is that first place car can kind of pull away, and the battle is going to be behind them as this swarm of bees try to race it out for second on back here at the Mainly Button Boxes 200 from Las Vegas.
Well, I'll tell you one thing right now. My button box is sweating with all of the action going on near the front of the field as check the 77 back to the point. At least that's what my timing and scoring is showing. Lightning McQuaid back up to the point. How did he get that big of a gap on everybody? Where did he come from?
I still got a little bit more of a little over a half-second gap now as we're looking at 0.6 of a second almost. Harris and Hetrick behind him are going to be side by side, and that's going to allow McQuaid to really start to pull away.
Yeah, when you see these guys battling door to door like that, it just kills their straightaway speed. That arrow gets involved in that, like the air brake, some of us might say, as we go on board here with the 9 of Adam Anderstein with the GoPro camera angle, I like to call it. As you can see here, he is just trying to paint a bee draft up to the back of that Camry XFE or XSE race car as he's going to bring it way down low. He's going to touch that white line. That was the zone for me on the racetrack when bad things happened to me as I took some hot laps around here early. But he's going to be able to charge on, keep moving forward here as they are racing just off the back bumper of that 27 of Cameron Harris.
Yeah, Harris under fire now from Hetrick right behind him. And, the battle is definitely from second on back. Everyone chasing down McQuaid. But no one here laying down and being done. I mean, these guys are fighting as hard as they can for second, third, and fourth right here, as you can see. And then we've got Jeremy Flanagan up 10 spots to 5th. Had a really productive pit stop, it looks like, after getting into some trouble. Makes up 10 spots here up to 5th. Let's see if he can hold on to that. But Zorku Nation taking a breath of fresh air there as we saw the 72 car having some trouble earlier.
Yeah, and that 72 is really stout at adapting and overcoming. I can't tell you how many times in a couple, three or four past races so far, we've seen adversity strike that 72 machine, and that just that previous champion, that veteran race car driver presence and that cool, calm mindset always rises to the occasion, and we always seem to see him around here at the end, making a bid for the win. And those are the types of things you come to expect out of Zorko and Zorko Nation, that big following he has. We appreciate all of his fans being on board with us as these guys are charging around this 1.5-mile oval.
Yeah, Flanagan got a little bit of work to do now that he's up to the top 5. He's got some really fast cars ahead of him, so if he can hang on there, keep his cool about him, we got a ways to go here before it's over, so let's see if he can make something happen with that good run he's got going on. Patrick McQuaid still up front, almost a 1 second gap now over the 20. Oh, the 27 has got a big wiggle there, and he's under fire from the 25 and the 9 as they go 3 wide for second place.
And now the 9 machine is down there in no man's land on the flats as well. And it is tricky coming back up onto the banking there at speed. Both those guys did a great job emerging back into traffic, as that is oftentimes disastrous here in Las Vegas. And here goes the silver bullet. There he is down on the inside, that 27 machine of Cameron Harris looking for more. And the longer these laps, these runs seem to go, the faster that 27 machine seems to get.
Yeah, he's definitely got that long run speed that we've seen, almost every race this season. When the green flag stays out, the 27 makes his way to the front. But up front currently still Patrick McQuaid. Let's go ahead and see if we can run through our field real quick. Patrick McQuaid sitting in first, but a 1.8 second gap to the 9 car now of Adam Angerstein rolling second. Fighting off Joshua Hetrick in third and Cameron Harris here in fourth. David Harris going to hold on to the 5th spot here currently, but things are definitely heating up front. Travis Rodriguez sitting in 6th in the Toyota, right in the middle of this big swarm here, as well as Kyle Purcell in the 10. David Lorfano III in that 8 machine has fallen back to 8th. And Jeremy Flanagan just got shuffled back to 9th quickly somehow, probably because we talked about him. That's just the way it goes. Johnny May in the 10 machine, Johnny May in the 69 machine going to round out our top 10.
Just looking to creep back inside the top 10 is going to be the one of Lilith Peters. In 12th, that's going to be Larry Garnes. 13th, Justin Horton in that 67 machine. 14th, the other Purcell, Sean R. Purcell, in that 00 Ford Mustang as he continues to try to recover from early incidences earlier on in this one that have plagued that 00, but he seems to have things going in the right direction. In 15th, that's going to be the 16 of Christian Delgado. 16th occupied by Peter Terrio. In 17th, Tyrone Yo. 18th, Clap On, Clap Off, the Clapper. In 18th, Evan Clapper. And in 19th, that's going to be the 3 of Nathan Christensen.
Unfortunately, Nathan Christensen a few laps down here. Clapper as well down a couple laps. Probably had some incidents on pit road or trouble getting in on and off. Something happened there. He's going to mar him back a couple laps. But big surprise from Peter Terrio here. Not really showing much tonight. Currently sitting in 16th spot. He's got some work to do. Looks like Las Vegas is not going to work for him. Not a lot of luck here for that team. But we'll go to a break next week. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say before you were talking about going to a break next week, that 77 seems to have found the checkout, see you boys on another planet gear, as that interval is now quickly approaching 3 seconds.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me how far up ahead he was getting, because I was just kind of letting the camera roll on the leader there, and the battle is here for second place. Yeah, we go to a break next week. We'll be off next Tuesday, and then we'll come back to Homestead, Miami on the 21st here. So hopefully a better run for that 28 machine come Miami.
Yeah, that's the one really cool thing that AARL does. They go ahead and they give it everything they got for a few weeks at a time, and then they get a much-needed rest, reset, break, and then they turn it loose again. So tonight here in Las Vegas, this is going to be the end of what I'll call round 1, and it has been extremely eventful. If you guys haven't been on board since week 1 with us, as we bring you guys these high-octane racing action each and every Tuesday night, make sure you come back after the break next week as these guys continue to do battle on the racetrack once again. But it looks like Patrick McQuaid has set a force field up there between himself and the rest of the pack, as that gap is now over 4 seconds.
Yeah, it absolutely is. As we'll take a look at it here from the blimp, you can't even see any of the cars here in the view. Closest car to him here is going to be the Joshua Hetrick 25 machine, who actually makes a...
Oh! Whoa! The 25 is using the Evil Knievel line.
Let's
Save
see.
it, save it, save it. And he does. He's going to make good use of the pit road exit there as he puts every pit crew on alert that there was big things popping out there on the racetrack. Oh, he's going to power slide it at the pit road cone.
Well, he'll hold on to it, but a big old mess here for the 25 machine. It's going to get it gathered back up as we stay green, possibly even stay out here. I don't think he was planning on coming down pit road.
Nah, I mean, he went from asphalt racing to racing the pro trucks down there through the infield abyss. It is bumpy in that grass, and we have seen that time and time again.
So I was going to say, we've actually been pretty lucky with the cameras to catch a few cars going through that infield and actually saving it. And some other weird stuff like the pit truck taking a little jump off pit road. Exciting
Yeah,
night.
I would have. It's exciting, and if you go through the grass, it is not going to cut you a break as it sends that car airborne. Multiple cars have been airborne going through the grass. Just ask the Purcells, Clapper, and the rest of the boys that have recently been through there and add the 25 to that list as they finally found themselves on the old riding lawnmower per se as they're mowing grass down there. You know, probably just having a handful inside of that race car at minimum. But he's going to get it back underway there, get it cranked back up to fifth gear as we go back to the 20. Oh, we got caution out on the racetrack as we were just bringing Lightning McQueen back into the picture. Oh, saw the back half of that one. We cycle back through the cameras here. Looks like Nathan Christensen
Oh, yeah,
perhaps
Johnny
involved.
May here is kind of, I think he was stuck on the racetrack, decided to get a tow here, but let me back it up just a slight hair and get a little bit better of a view.
Oh, he just lost it.
You know, he's up in the wall, I think trying to keep it there, actually, and avoid those two cars, but looked like the wall almost shoved him back out at the worst time possible.
Yeah, the wall said, nope, I don't want you, rejected, and shot him back right down in front of the 3 machine of Nathan Christensen.
And I'll say, too, it looks like he actually deflated those rear tires because he ends up getting stuck here and has to hit that tow button, which can be pretty devastating.
And that was a violent impact right on the driver's side. Very reminiscent of Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace at the fall race here. Is that Ford Mustang is going to take a tow of it as it started to crab walk down the embankment. And once again, pit road is going to be a hot commodity, led by Lightning McQuaid, who is definitely has to be upset with that caution flag, as he had a nice security buffer built up over 4 seconds between himself and the rest of the beehive out there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I bet he was feeling good out there, setting sail and not looking back, but that caution flag is going to change everything. But at the same time, I'm thinking that he maybe could have used some fresh rubber.
Yeah, why not? I mean, those Dr. Feelgoods become Dr. Feelbads. They get sloppy, as you like to say, and no one likes sloppy rubber out there on the racetrack. So why not come on down, put some fresh Goodyear Eagles on that race car, get it hooked back up in the racetrack as best it possibly can be. We're going to restack the deck, reset the order. We'll let you guys know exactly how they're going to get ready to fire back off. But one thing I know for certain is that Lightning McQuaid machine should be P1. And as I'm seeing right now, and potentially in second, Travis Juggles Rodriguez, and in third, Cameron Harris in that 27 machine, and Kyle Purcell in that 10 continues to rebound, and he's going to find himself restarting in fourth. Rounding out your top 5, that's going to be the 15 of David Hara.
Well, despite having a good handful of cautions here tonight, you know, I hate to say it, but when, you know, you're having fun, time does fly as we're almost, you know, just getting down to the last leg of this race. Strategy, as we talked about early, has kind of just come and gone, and right now you're kind of at where you're at, and you're what you're doing is you're running at a race to really strategize. So we got a fresh deck here. Everyone pitted here at lap 90, so everything's equal up front. I think it's now going to come down to who can hold off for the next 40 laps or so, and maintain this next run of tires.
Well, tell you what, look who there and snuck up there and took P1 away from McQueen. That 10 machine, and these guys, I believe, do have a history at times out there on the racetrack. So check the 10 to P1. The 77 is going to fall back one to P2. Cameron Harris, that 27 machine, P3. David Hillbilly Harris, P4. And Travis Rodriguez is going to restart this one in 5th, as we still see the lights on that iRacing.com Chevrolet Silverado, which means we're going to have to go around here at least one more time at pace speed.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about this front row, too, with Purcell and McQuaid here side by side. Purcell's going to have that preferred inside line, and these guys got a little bit of history, and what that means is they're going to race each other very hard, and they're going to not give an inch, and this is going to be one of the greatest restarts of the race, I believe.
Yep, I'm going to agree with you on that one, as I got my popcorn anchored down by a tire weight here, because it's about to get dicey up front when we turn these bad boys loose again. And look who's right behind that 10 machine. He continues to make his way forward, and it's that silver bullet, Cameron Harris.
That's
that Coors Light. Yeah, that Coors Light car just continues to put himself in position to be in contention when the things start to intensify as we wind these laps down to the critical laps, because you're only going to get so many more opportunities to place your bid. And don't look now who else is coming back into the picture. Just behind the 7 is that one of Lil Peters.
Yeah, some really big names coming back up to the top 5 here. Not only big names, but fast cars. As the pace truck will pull off. We'll be back under green here. For lap 94 of 134, the Mainly Button Boxes 200 right here in Sim Racing Media. Kyle Purcell and Patrick McQuaid gonna drag race across the line. Looks like the 10 will have that advantage from that bottom line. McQuaid's not gonna give it up easy.
Now McQuaid's gonna fire back and take a middle to low approach through turns 1 and 2. That's gonna set him up on a great exit, and he's gonna paint a bead right on the back of that 10 Toyota Camry, as he's gonna be snake bitten perhaps, as he's gonna latch onto that back of that race car and not do anything to let Purcell get away. We go on board here with the 77 of Lightning McQueen. Look at the pressure that he is putting on the back of that Animal Services Toyota Camry. As you can hear, I'm working the throttle there a little bit, just indicative of how much grip there is before it slips, per se.
Silver Bullet here sitting in 3rd, gonna look on board over the hood. Got McQuaid right in front of him, Purcell in the lead. And McQuaid, we saw him with over a 5-second gap when the caution came out. Now sitting 2nd, having to chase down the number 10 of Kyle Purcell.
Sorry about that, guys. I hit a hot function there and lost both my screens for a minute, but we are back in action as we continue to see McQuaid apply the pressure to the back of that 10 Toyota. And you're right, Cliff, he is not letting him get away. He'll blow the tires off that car before he lets him get out there to a 2 or 3 car length lead. And while all this dogfighting up front is going on for positions 1 and 2, look who is continuing to reel these leaders in, and that's the 27. The Rockies are fired up right now.
Yeah, another car out here who we had word early that he might not make this race. He was able to make it, got out of work on time. It's a good reminder that this is just a hobby for pretty much all these guys, and every single one of them, or most of them, have actual day jobs that they got to go do, and they do this for fun, of course, for bragging rights as well. But Sometimes these guys got to put real life in front of their racing, and it hurts, it stings. But here we are. Cameron Harris did actually make it to the race, and sitting in third. So we're happy to see him.
You know, you bring up a great point, Cliff. If any of you guys watching these broadcasts, these live streams at home, you know, racing in the real world, it is so expensive to get involved in it and to go out there and be competitive. Well, iRacing has a great solution for you guys, a cost-effective way. As we see some big action going on in the back of the field, and I think that's the 00 again that is in it and in it hard. Oh, disaster strikes the other Purcell. The 00 finds himself in the hornet's nest again. Oh, yeah, that was a racing deal, but that is disastrously painful. Is the 9 just working the high side of the racetrack? Looks like he got loose. It just gets into the back of that Ford Mustang, and he is going to collect him hard.
Yeah, 00 gets loose right in front of the 9. 9 tries to woe it up, but can't in time, and ends up joining him in that wreck party. Well, you hate to see that, but caution does come back out. Jump back up front with Patrick McQuaid here in the 77 machine, who's now going to have that inside line as we're going to have 34 to go here.
Yeah, and I can't believe, Cliff, with all these cautions that we're still talking about only 34 laps being left in the 34 pages being left to write in the history books here tonight. And Sin City is on full alert from these AARL boys and girls. Raging war out here on the racetrack. You know, just as I was telling you guys at home, you know, iRacing, a great cost-effective solution. If you want to get into some real stock car sim racing, iRacing, everyone knows it's as real as it gets. If you got a computer, a decent GPU, go out there on Facebook Marketplace. You're watching the Facebook stream. Open up another window, find yourself a steering wheel and some pedals. Literally subscribe to iRacing. You're going to get an initial set of tracks, your rookie license, and before you know it, you could be out here with us on. You could be right here with us on SRM, driving right alongside of some of these drivers that you're watching right now, such as Lightning McQuaid, who is out there once again trying to get another win in the history books here tonight before we close the doors and the lights on this one here within the next hour.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. You know, real life racing is out of reach for most people, whether it be financial or whatever, physical. And this is a way that, you know, just about anyone can get into this and join the fun. I'm glad you brought that up. You know, you might not be good like me, and you might not ever get good like me, but you can still come out here and have a good time, and, you know, join your peers and enjoy what would be considered probably the closest thing to real racing other than getting into a race car.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You know, probably so many of these, our followers and subscribers, you know, they see the iRacing.com branding on our stream, but I figured why not fill them in a little bit about it and how it works, and, you know, let them know it's not maybe as far out of reach as what they think it is. And, you know, if you got the spirit, give it a shot. It's not like you're signing your life away and you're not dropping your life savings to go out there and buy an actual race car and hoping you survive the first night. It's virtual. You put it in the wall, you get a reset button, and you're right back at it again. So why not? You know, gamble, throw your hand at it, and who knows, you might see us right here on SRM in the future under the lights in prime time, as we currently have what? Looks like we have, just as I say that, I click on the wrong monitor. We're working lap 102 here, which means we are counting down to the nit and gritty as these guys look to bring up that racing action another level, as I believe those lights are about to go out on the pace truck.
There's about 32 laps left here, and this one will be over. And, you know, talking a little bit more about getting out here and doing it, if you do end up out here and you grab yourself a podium finish in one of the leagues that we broadcast here on Sim Racing Media. You might get in the booth here with us and get an interview. Of course, we will talk to our top 3 drivers here of this race tonight, so don't go away when we're done. We want to get a word from our podium finishers.
Yeah, and while we get set to do that and those lights go out on the pace truck, I'm getting ready here to watch round 2 of Lightning McQuaid and Kyle Purcell battle it out here on the front row under the lights in Las Vegas, because that was a barn burner between those two before mayhem struck further back in the field, which took out, I believe, his little brother, the younger of the Purcells, in that 00 Ford Mustang.
Well, hey there, shout out to Robert Van Ness sitting at home watching, rooting for the 77, the muffler man, Patrick McQuaid, telling him to bring it home. Let's hope he does, sir, and hopefully we can get an interview with him when this one is up, Robert, so stay tuned for that. He'll have a world of trouble behind him with Harris, Hera, Rodriguez, Peters, Hetrick, Lorfano, Evan Clapper, and Larry Garnes, the top 10 here. Those are some fast cars. McQuaid and Kyle Purcell are going to have trouble holding them off. But here goes the pace truck for what could be the last time. The 10 and 77 will take us to it.
And here we go. They hit the Geico restart zone, and already they are fanning out 3 wide as the 15 and the 7 go up to the top side, the high line of the racetrack, as the 27 tries to paint the picture on the back of that 77 machine. That 10 Toyota did not get the restart he was hoping for, as he's going to have a mirror full of Lilith Peters. That's right, here she comes, right on schedule, as she's putting her hat back into the mix late in this one, as she's starting to eye up the back of that 15 machine. It is getting dicey out there on the racetrack right now, as these drivers know the opportunity to get to the front is dwindling right before their eyes.
Yes, sir, with less than 30 to go now, Peters pushing towards the front. Now's the time to lay it all out. Forget your strategy up to this point. Now it's just get there to the front if you can and get the best finish possible. You've probably used up your tires in the pits. Hopefully you didn't leave any behind. But this could be it right here.
Yeah, this is the point in the race as a driver where you start to see red. All the give and take, all that gentlemanship type agreement goes out the window, if you will, and it's staring out the front. And you're hungry right now. You want that all-you-can-eat buffet. Oh, did you see a big wiggle out of David Hera as he squirted out the bun down the racetrack, and he's able to corral it as we see action all over this racetrack right now, using up every inch of real estate as these guys and girls are going at it 110%.
Yeah, the two Davids here side by side, the 8 and 15 of David Lorfano and David Hera. Actually, the admins and owners of this league. These guys race hard week in, week out against each other. They're also on the same team. So almost a bit of a mess there for Hillbilly Motorsports, but they are able to keep it under control. Patrick McQuaid back continues to lead, about 0.4 of a second gap now over the Silver Bullet, that 27 of Cameron Harris. But he's got a mirror full of Kyle Purcell, who we saw get a little bit of a rough restart there and fall back quite a bit. We thought that was going to be a little bit more of a fight there for that lead. Wondering if he just, slipped the tires up just a little bit. He's going to have to let off that gas to really get going.
Tell you what, Purcell really seems to shine under pressure. When you stack the cards against that man, he seems to just go next level. He finds a new gear in that car that he hasn't seen before, and he really lights the torch and brings it to these guys. And you can see that in his race car right now as he's continuing to put pressure on the 27 of Cameron Harris. I don't think he's out of this by any means just yet. And also on the move back up to P4, right behind Kyle, is that Lilith Peters machine and that number 1 ZL Camaro.
Well, we also got to keep in the back of our minds, as you said it earlier, and you've said it many times, cautions will breed cautions, so we may not be done. We've got 24 laps to go. That's 24 times around this 1.5 mile racetrack and 24 possibilities of errors. And as I say it, the caution flag will fly.
Oh, and just as we were flirting with the C word, it decides to go full-blown around the racetrack and that dreaded yellow waves again. And once again, Lightning McQueen has to watch that lead evaporate. As you can only imagine, he is hotter than Grandma's biscuits inside of that race car right now. So look for that crew chief, that spotter, to calm that driver down. Is like we seen last week, Lilith Peters having to reign supreme restart after restart. It's Patrick McQuaid's turn to feel that pressure and that duress, but that's going to give everyone behind that 77 another opportunity to go up there and steal one late in this one.
Yeah, and again, I'm not sure what the caution was for there on that one. Probably had some trouble on racetrack that race control had eyes on that we did not. But, we'll continue moving forward.
Everyone's going to come back down pit road.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess, if you're the 77 and you stay out, you're a sitting duck, right? Because everyone's going to do the opposite of what you do. So that kind of forces you to do what everyone else is going to do, as everyone is wholesaling it, as you like to say, coming down pit road. 77 hits the box. Lilith Peters is going to get the best spot in the house. She's going to get P1, the stall P1 as she qualified P1. So let's see if that comes into a play here as everyone goes to work on those race cars. We're about to get a look right here at the race off pit road as it looks like, it's too close to call.
So McQuaid comes out the top spot, but the one in the 27 of Harris very close coming out. We'll have to see if they let Peter stay there in front of Cameron Harris. It looked like she had it, but it was very close.
Yeah, that's why I stopped in my tracks, is I could see scoring was undecided, and I myself was undecided. So we're going to give them an opportunity in race control to do their job, to see how we are going to set up again for potentially the final restart here tonight as these laps continue to wind down. But don't look now. I believe there was one car that did not go down pit road. Am I seeing that correctly? Is that the 00 of Sean Purcell in P1 behind that race truck?
Yes, sir, the one and only. Going to stay out here. He was on pit road last on lap 101, so he's got decent tires still. I don't think he was down with the hype of coming down pit road here at the end. I think he's got a car he's probably comfortable with now. He's got some worn-in rubber, got plenty of heat in the tires. I think he's ready to get this one finished up with what he's got.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that he is still in this race with the amount of impacts he has taken on that race car. I know we talked about it earlier. If you catch that, you catch that impact angle right, you have a broken spindle. But this guy has been in incident after incident, and these guys and girls only have one fast repair out there tonight. And to see that Ford Mustang still out there in one piece and in P1, could he be the spoiler here tonight? If you remember going back to that interview a couple weeks ago, he said about how getting that win early, he was able to change the game, his approach, his attack on these races, because he has a guaranteed spot in the playoffs. Could that may have been a play here or a part of that decision here? Only time will tell. But right now, Sean Purcell, he is in the hot seat, though, as he's going to have some fast race cars behind him in that 77 of Patrick McQuaid, the 1 of Lilith Peters, and don't count out that 27 of Cameron Harris just yet.
Absolutely not. That is a fast car. We saw it last week. He's got the long run speed, so that might come to a disadvantage to him with only 20 laps to go, but still, don't count him out. He knows how to get it done. He's definitely a closer. It looks like, however, Sean Purcell should have the inside line, but it looks like McQuaid is now lining up on the inside, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But McQuaid's going to start on the bottom, which I believe is the advantage here over that 00, especially with slightly newer tires. I think all he's got to do is hold him off 1 or 2 laps, and he will set sail.
Yeah, now for me as a driver, I prefer the top side of the racetrack, just, you know, from my little bit of experience out there on that surface tonight. Certainly it has a lot different character built into it now as this track is well rubbered up. But I like that security of the banking, as a progressive banking, as you get up closer towards the well, you get more of that bank, which I believe just gives me as a driver a little bit more security when I want to get hard on the loud pedal. But hey, that's what makes racing great. So many different strategies. Every driver likes it a different way. And we're going to get ready to uncork these boys and girls here one more time. As here we go. Sean Purcell hits the guy called restart zone, and he is going to get a restart of a lifetime as he's going to start walking away just a little bit. But on the high side, look at that 27 Silver Bullet is on the bottom. You got the running of the 77 and the Lilith Peters, the Camaros working together, forming a beat. Oh, look at this. They are going to freight train, or possibly freight train, that 00 on the bottom side of the racetrack, as now Lilith Peters falls back into the clutches of the brother, Kyle Purcell.
Man, I tell you, that 77 didn't get going quite good on that, or very well on that green flag start, or restart, and the 00 took advantage of it. But here we are, the 77 and McQuaid dug in and found his way back to the top spot, but hey, that caution's gonna fly again.
Yeah, I thought I saw something brewing, and then obviously I backed off. But oh, speaking of broken spindles, there's another one. Sometimes as an announcer, you hate bringing this stuff up because you hate to see it come into fruition. But doink. Oh, those are two hard shots there.
Look, a bit of a misjudgment. Back it up a little bit, see if there's any foul play here. It seems pretty standard. Yeah, probably got a late call there from his spotter inside, and just was too late to get out of the way there.
Well, yeah, not only was it a late call, but that's not where you want to be, especially tracking there through the dog leg. You saw a little bit of a wiggle out of that race car. Thought he was clear, probably, and I think you're absolutely right with your call there, Cliff.
All right, well, we're going to get him stacked back up again. I'll tell you what we're going to do, though. We're going to jump side by side one last time, get some merch plugs in there before we finish up, and we'll take you to the end here. Right here in Sim Racing Media, you won't miss a thing. We'll go side by side. Stay tuned. So 17 to go on the Mainly Button Boxes 200, brought to you tonight by Mainly Button Boxes. Custom handmade button boxes by none other than David Lorfano III, who we just saw get into some trouble. So you get into trouble, we plug your button boxes, right? Reach out to David Lorfano III on Facebook to get some information on how to get yourself a button box. Talked about them earlier. They are very simplistic, right to the point, but function perfectly. And there's some guys in this league who would attest to that, who have them mounted up in their rigs at home. So check that out, Mainly Button Boxes.
Yeah, I am not on the wavelength, as some would say, is I know it's got to be more than a box with buttons, but I have no idea what that is, but it sounds cool. I'm going to check that out. Maybe it's something to do with this, you mean like a start button and some other key buttons that you would want as a sim racer inside of a sim rig, I would imagine. But I am not on the power curve when it comes to button boxes, so I'm going to have to do some homework, a little R&D here when this one is over.
Well, you hit the nail on the head right there. Is basically it. You know, you've got your wheel and pedals, and you've got your keyboard sitting over there and your mouse. But taking it to the next level is when you definitely get some peripherals in there, and you get some buttons going on, and some switches, and maybe even some dials to dial in your brake bias. All mappable, all programmable. Brings you to a little bit of a next level of realism, and also gives you some options there for different mappings and buttons and things that you probably didn't even think you needed.
Well, I'll tell you what, as those lights go out on the pace truck, I am sold on having a mechanical brake bias control. So if I get that in a button box alone, sign me up for that. Because, I got a little bit of experience in a race car, and one thing that drives me scatty sometimes is having to crawl through my keyboard trying to play with the brake bias. So if the button box does that for me, sign me up.
Sure can.
Well, there you go. Just like that, put that on the wish list for Matt Metler, a button box. As we see those pace lights are out once again on that Chevrolet Silverado. That iRacing.com pace driver has certainly earned his paycheck here tonight.
I'm hoping the 77 figured out what he did wrong on the last go at it and doesn't do it again here. Last thing you want to do here is give this race away so late in the night.
Yeah, he just didn't bring the thunder on that one, did he? So let's see if he can get the lightning and the thunder timed up right on this one. And he can squirt the hot dog out of the bun on these guys, if you will. One more time, here we go. Patrick McQuaid, he's going to stand on the loud pedal, and let's see if he timed this restart right. Look at that, a huge push from the 27 to Cameron Harris. The Camaros working together, and look at them shoot out and gives McQuaid a great restart. He's going to owe him a steak dinner when this one's over if he's going to be able to come out on top. But that's how Camaros team cars work together. Huge help from the 27 on that restart, as the 00 is going the wrong way, as they are three wide. He is the meat in the sandwich, if you will, on this one. But there we go. Put him P1. Patrick McQuaid has a sizable lead out in front right now. In close proximity, that 27. Don't look now, but on the top side of the racetrack, the other Toyota in the mix, Travis Juggles Rodriguez. Oh, he catches a piece of the wall.
12 to go as we come by next time. The 77's got the lead, but there's a swarm of bees right behind him trying to take it from him. Cameron Harris in the Silver Bullet 27's got to hold off a whole mess of cars here just to hang on to second. And it is a fight all the way back through the field.
Yeah, it is survival of the fittest right now, right here in Sin City, Las Vegas. And there are cars everywhere across the racetrack. They are fanning out in these corners. They are finding spots to race that I didn't even think was possible at this racetrack. But it is all mashed potato gravy right now for Patrick McQuaid, as he currently has just about a half-second lead over that 27 Cameron Harris machine. And right behind him, that's where the swarm really starts to build. As look at Travis Juggles Rodriguez in this one, making a bid for the podium late.
10 to go, and Travis Juggles Rodriguez, as you said, pushing third place here. Justin Horton right behind him, though, in the 67, up 15 spots. We haven't mentioned him much at all tonight.
No, and we definitely should be talking about him. That's a great run. Biggest mover of the race by far. As you said, up 15 spots. As he's looking for more, as he's starting to dial up the pressure onto the back of that 7 machine.
Caution once again. It's 10 to go here.
Well, right on cue. And unfortunately, it looks to be the 00 involved in a snafu out there on the racetrack. Oh, is the clapper sent the slapper up on the 00?
The clapper sends the slapper. Let's back up, though, just a hair to see if, maybe we're not seeing the whole picture. But looks like, yeah, 57's trying to get that bottom line in there. 00 putting on a little bit of a block. I wouldn't say it was too much of a block, but definitely a block there, and gonna catch the short end of that stick from that 57 machine.
Yep, that will definitely flare tempers and bruise some egos out there late in this one. As you know what, I get it, it's late in the race. All these positions, they count, they matter. Those translate to points. And, Evan Clapper felt like he had, had a little opportunity there, and he took it, and that door closed up really quick. And unfortunately, on the wrong side of the deal looking in was that 00 of Purcell. As we go on board here with the Silver Bullet, Cameron Harris himself in that P2 position. As we go on board here with the gyro cam, this does a great job with you guys at home, putting into perspective what it feels like to sit inside this race car as you go around these high banks right here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, this 27 machine sitting here in second. We saw him kind of almost give the 77 a push instead of trying to make a pass on that last start. These guys are teammates, so probably working together there, but eventually they're going to have to go their own ways and decide who's going to win this race. I think my bets would be on the 77, but I mean, I don't think there's any safe bets. And not that I'm talking about betting and a safe bet, and I was about to get into it being Las Vegas and all this, but take a look at the top 4 numbers, all ending in lucky number 7.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't play the local lotto yet. There you go, 777, quick pick 4. I believe the entries are filled for the night, but hey, you can always play that tomorrow in the midday, and if you win, hey, just think about Cliff and Matt up in the booth. He pointed you in the right direction if you happen to strike it big.
And if you lost everything, go ahead and aim your hate mail at john@simracingmedia.com. He's gonna fire me. Yeah, a whole bunch of 7s here in the top 2 rows. So I think the 7s are gonna be lucky here tonight when this one's over with. That's a good bet. There will be a 7 in the number.
I'm still laughing over here. I'm sorry. Oh, want the way to get the boss man's attention. I guess that's one way to do it.
And he was watching earlier. We'll see now if he was watching still.
Yep.
Sometimes
you just got to throw things out there to see if certain people are looking, and that'll definitely, probably entice someone to dial it up in the chat. As we get a better look here at that 77 machine of Patrick, a.k.a. Lightning McQueen, or McQuaid. Oh, my goodness.
Lightning McQuaid.
Lightning
What have
McQuaid.
we called him? Patrick McQueen. He's fast. That's what
He's fast. He's bad fast. But he's got to have the thunder and the lightning timed right on that restart. A little friendly help from the 27's not going to help either. But, I mean, even getting back to Talladega Nights, the shake and bake, every once in a while, the baker, got to jump up there and steal one in P1, so we'll have to see how this tandem plays out again. But they're going to line up a little bit differently now. They're going to share the front row, so it's going to be a little tougher for that 27 to duck down behind the 77, give him that shot of the lifetime like they did in the last restart. And something tells me Travis Juggles Rodriguez, he's going to have a say in this before he just lets the 27 cut the nose off that Camry and give him that prime shake and bake position out there on the racetrack, per se.
Well, we'll give him 3 attempts at green-white checkers later on if we need it for Mr. Rodriguez. Hopefully we won't need it. We got 6 to go. But if we have to go into overtime, we will. And we will crown a winner here tonight before the night is over. Stay tuned. We will talk to our top 3 in the booth and get their perspectives.
Well, from a statistical standpoint, all signs would point to overtime. But these guys and gals, they like to write their own story, if you will. So we'll see if that comes into play or not. I got a feeling they're going to end it on the racetrack right here, right now. Time will tell as those lights are out on that pace truck. As that driver eyes up the entrance to pit road one more time here tonight.
I just got off the phone with my bookie. Let's go 67, Justin Horton.
Hey, there's always time for Tim Hortons. And Justin Horton out there on the racetrack. If you're from the Northeast, you know all about Tim Hortons coffee. We're going to see if he's going to dial up a bold brew in this one. As 77 of Patrick McQuaid, he's going to rifle out in front of the cannon. Look at Juggles Rodriguez. He's going to pin down that silver bullet machine as he's making a strong case for a podium finish here in this one. But he's going to get a heck of a run. Comes down to throw the block. Double thinks the move, as that would have been disastrous and potentially wiped out the whole field. And behind him, they are fanning out 3 wide as Patrick McQuaid is going to come back down by the start-finish line and lead this one. That means 6 more times by.
4 to go now. 4 laps to go. Cameron Harris right behind just a mess of cars right behind McQuaid here for second. The 27-7, the 67 of Justin Horton trying to come up and play ball. And you also got the one here, Lilith Peters, sticking her nose in where it definitely belongs, trying to get that car back up to the front.
Big block by the 25 on Lilith Peters as she had a run. Had to jump on the brake pedal. I don't know how that 28 machine of Peter Theriot did not turn the one. That was impressive as she was coming on the bottom side of the racetrack as they are scrambling for position all over the place just off the back bumper of that 77.
We'll have 2 to go when Patrick McQuaid comes out of 4 here and comes across the line. Cameron Harris sitting in second, Hetrick third, and a whole mess. We can't even really call third, fourth, and fifth here as it looks like a couple of cars getting into it mid-pack here, but holding on to it. 2 to go.
This is some great racing right now just off the back of the lead as they are changing position multiple times a quarter, let alone how many times a lap, and they have not wrecked somehow, some way. But going on board with Patrick McQuaid, looking back at that hornet's nest and how these cars are just snaking like a crazy train through these corners right now. That shows you how bad these drivers want it as they are running out of time here in Sin City.
White flag, final lap. Next flag will end it as everyone chases down Patrick McQuaid down the backstretch. Harris Hetrick sitting 2-3.
Oh, and look how tight it is right there with Peters, Purcell, and the 67 machine of Justin Horton there on the outside, making it work, making it stick.
Patrick McQuaid gonna come across the line as your winner for the Mainly Button Boxes 200 here at Las Vegas. Cameron Harris, Joshua Hetrick gonna be our unofficial top 3. We'll let it get sorted out, and we will grab our top finishers and get a word with them. So don't go away.
And just like that, a lot of people say that McQuaid guy, Patrick McQuaid, would have had a run for the championship if it wasn't for internet connection woes last season. He has that problem solved, and he's back up in the winner's circle here tonight. As if you placed your bets on the 77, that lucky 77 machine, he didn't start P1, but he certainly finished P1, up 3 spots tonight. Good job. Big shout out to Lightning McQuaid. And you know what? You might as well throw his teammate in there too. He was a big part of that catalyst, helping him get that W here on a couple restarts as he was blocking for his teammate, and that was evident. So great team effort, great win out of that 77 machine as he reasserts his name here as a force to be reckoned with in the AARL Cup Series.
You're absolutely right, but let's go ahead and grab our third place finisher, Joshua Hetrick. Joshua, it's Cliff and Matt in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you, boys.
Heck, man, wild finish there after what was starting to become, dare I say it, a caution fest, but started to get it figured out there towards the end, and a lot of hard, fast racing. What was going through your mind there?
Oh, I just I had to thank Lilith and Horton for not wrecking me. I was mirror driving those last 3 or 4 laps. I wanted one bad. I've had a rough season up to this point and wanted to get one here, so just try to keep the thing in one piece through the whole race. And it is just nasty loose, so glad we could pull it out.
Yeah, well, congrats on that P3. Awesome finish for the night for the 25 machine. Not quite a win, but great for some momentum going in. Well, I guess momentum going into an off week isn't really helpful, but hopefully we come back to Miami when we get back to it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. 1.5 miles I love, so hopefully get a little practice in and see what we can do out there.
All right, Joshua, thanks. Well, we'll send you back to celebrate. Before we do, you got anyone you want to shout out to?
We'll thank our sponsors, Or Lawn Care, Capital Sign Company, Willow Creek Market Garden on the side of the car, Graham Collision as well, and then the Assault Boys. These guys are fun to race with and a heck of teammates to keep encouraging us and see what we all can do.
There you have it. Joshua Hetrick rolling across the line in third, picking up P3. Nice podium finish for him and his team. We'll jump next to Cameron Harris from Hillbilly Motorsports. Cameron, it's Cliff and Matt in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. I got.
Well, we had word early that you might not make it. Looks like you got yourself out of work on time and home for the race and come across the line, bringing that silver bullet across in second place. Wild race. Take us through what was going on in your mind.
It's pretty much a team race. Whoever was in the lead was going to try to protect as much as we could. You know, the draft played a big role. Tire wear as well. That's pretty much it, man. Pat ended up in P1. I tried to keep him there as best as I could. Not necessarily defending the second position, but trying to make it as hard as possible for the next person to get to him.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a teammate move right there, and we did notice that actually as we were talking about it. So congrats there to P2. Not a win, but a teammate win is just as good sometimes, especially when you have a little bit to help and a hand in it. But anyone you want to give a shout out to before we send you back to celebrate with your team?
Yeah. Mayhem Motorsports, Hillbilly Motorsports as well. Let us be a part of that success they've been having. I just took a shot. I'm sorry. Oh, I just took a celebratory shot. Woo. I'm sweating, man. I'm hot. It was a good one.
Celebrate. You gotta do what you gotta do to wind down after your race.
But yeah, it was a good time. A lot of effort put into that one. A lot of hours of practice into that one. So P2, I'll take it, man.
Absolutely. Well, congrats again. We will send you back to celebrate, and hopefully we get to talk to you again when we get back to Miami.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
We have it. Our P2 finisher, Cameron Harris, almost didn't make the race. That leaves the none other. And there he is. Matt, I'm going to let you go ahead and take this one. It's Lightning. Lightning, Cliff and Matt in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Oh, and when there's thunder, there is lightning, and Lightning McQuaid took this field by storm tonight. Lightning from the booth, this was a wild one from the drop of the green flag. Walk me through this race from your perspective, sir.
I don't even know where to start, guys. I'll start at practice. It was a terrible practice. I had terrible practice all week. And I mean, my teammates were trying to help me the best they could, but I could barely do 15 laps, at least at their times. But once I figured it out, it just kind of came natural, I guess. But Yeah, for the most part, it was fun being out front. I guess that's all I can say about that.
Yeah, we saw a couple different times here where you were able to build a sizable lead and advantage, particularly in that in the gap in the differential timer zone, if you will. And we've seen that caution come out time and time again. Was that hard for you to? Was that hard to absorb as a race car driver? Just being able to build that type of a gap, a 4-second buffer on the field, and having the caution flag come out like that.
Yeah, so I'm a nervous Nelly as it is, you know. I get all shaky and whatnot, but Cam reassured me that he had my back, and he did. And I mean, he's more of a team player than I am, that's for sure. But I owe it to him. I greatly appreciate, you know, him, you know, doing what he did while he was in second. And then there was it was Purcell. It was when Sean stayed out, and he bumped me right past him as soon as that I think it was what, the third to last caution or something like that, to put me back in the lead. And yeah, this one's to Cam. I greatly appreciate it.
You know what? You're reading my mind. And when you said shaky, I was just going to say the shake and bake boys tonight, yourself and your teammate Cameron Harris. He gave you a shot of a lifetime on that restart. And I know he said in his interview he wasn't defending, but boy, it certainly looked like he had your back out there on the racetrack, doing everything he could to keep that hornet's nest away from his teammate being you, that 77. You go out there in prime time, you get a win. A much needed win, probably from your perspective. I know you've had a couple incidences over the past couple weeks that kind of took you out of races and contention early, but nonetheless, a statement win here tonight. Great team win. Who do you want to thank on that 77 machine?
Of course, Muffler Man, great supporter. Alpha Lion, Eclipse Photography, Blues Race Designs. Blues Race has amazing schemes. If anyone out there that needs a scheme, they do a great job. And then just everyone that watches and supports. And then, of course, you guys, you know, putting on a great broadcast as always. And yeah, just all my competitors, they're super fun. At times it gets a little sketchy, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Well, there you go, right there. A very fired up Patrick McQuaid, a.k.a. Lightning McQuaid, as him and his teammate Cameron Harris come out on top, positions 1 and 2. I am not looking forward to having to do battle against you tomorrow night in the Coast Cup Series, sir, because you are freaky fast out there on these 1.5 miles. But he'll take it. He's your winner tonight from Sin City, the driver of the 77, Patrick McQuaid.
Hey Matt, if you want to work together, man, I'm willing to. But I greatly appreciate it, and you guys have a good night.
Hey, you know I'll definitely be working with you, and I appreciate all the help and support thus far. You've definitely made me a better sim racer in the short couple weeks, man. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Not looking forward to trying to go up there and pass you for the win, though. But I'll give it the best I got there, brother. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no problem.
There you have it, folks. Lightning McQuaid coming across the line in first, also locking himself into the playoffs. So not too shabby there. Great night for the 77 machine. That'll do it for us tonight, but of course we will bring up our official results here and run through where everyone finished. So we talked to McQuaid, talked to Cameron Harris. Second, Joshua Hetrick rolls across third. Lesser known Justin Horton tonight anyway. We talked about him very little bit there at the end. Kind of called him for the winner. Didn't quite make it happen, but finishes fourth. So a great run there for that 67 machine, you know, up 15 spots from where he actually started. Lilith Peters as well in the one machine. Saw her with a little bit of struggles early on, but had a fast car. Finishes fifth. Could have been much worse, as we saw her deep down in the field not too long ago. Kyle Purcell rolls off 6th in that 10 machine. Travis Rodriguez is going to finish 7th. Peter Terrio in the 28 had a little bit of a trouble race tonight. Just overall finishes 8th, so not too bad for as a finish as a whole, but not the results that they were looking for, I'm sure. Adam Angerstein's going to roll across the line 9th, and Jeremy Flanagan finishes with a top 10 here, so shout out to him and Zorku Nation.
Yeah, and I'm going to bring you guys the rest of the way through the field, bring you home tonight. In 11th, the 15 of David Hara. In 12th, that's going to be Evan Clapper in the 57. Up 4 spots tonight from where he started. In 13th, Nathan Christensen. 14th, Christian Delgado. 15th belongs to the 20 of Larry Garnes. In 16th, Tyrone Yo Jr. 17th, the other Purcell, who found himself just could not get out of harm's way. Unfortunately, tonight, he's going to come home 17th in that 00 machine. In 18th, David Lorfano. And rounding out your 19 competitors here tonight, Johnny May in 19th.
Well, there you have it, folks. That'll take us through our finish and, our night. Thank you for joining us from Las Vegas. Be sure to like and subscribe. This broadcast was live on Facebook, but will be uploaded over to our YouTube page as soon as possible. So thanks for joining us tonight. And if you're rewatching, thanks for joining us again. So
Reminding all you guys to change out your sloppy rubber for Dr. Feelgoods when available out there on the racetrack tonight. Las Vegas did not disappoint, as this was a barn burner from flag to flag. Action-packed, high-octane, what you come to expect from the AARL Cup Series. I'm Matt on the comms. That is Cliff on the switches, bringing us those excellent camera views and phenomenal work here tonight. Remember, we're off this week, so make sure you hit the bell button to join us in 2 weeks as we go to my home state in Miami for some Southside action. But right now, it's good night from Las Vegas. We'll see you guys all next time. Have a great evening.